So let's move on to our NFL Spotlight, where we recap last week's games by looking at our game of the week, our stat that told the story, and our team or player on the rise. We'll start with our game of the week, and I think this one was pretty easy. This was a marquee matchup coming into this past Sunday, the Bengals versus the Bills. The Bills ended up coming back down 14 points in the fourth quarter and scored 21 unanswered to win it, and all within like 5 minutes towards the end of that game. When I watched it back just today, and seeing what the score was going into the fourth quarter, it was like 21-18. The final score ended up being 39-34. So just crazy things happened in that game where Joe Burrow's pass to a little screen pass. Christian Benford went a mile high in the air to get that one and returned it for a pick six. And then on the very next possession, a tipped ball by a defensive lineman led to another interception that led to another score for Buffalo. Yeah. Key takeaways late in that game. I'm still have concerns over Buffalo because of their defense. They just allowed.
Their defense was terrible the entire game except for 2 plays. And
right. Cincinnati, I mean, they just tried right up and down the field, especially in that first half. It was automatic. But Cincinnati's playoff hopes really took a hit in this one. Now sitting at 9 losses. Their best chance is actually still to win their division. It's with the loss to the Ravens from the Pittsburgh Steelers, still feels like the division's open for them. They could win it 8-9 on the season. We'll see what happens.
What's their what? No, because Pittsburgh's in their division. That's impossible.
They're going to go 9-8. That's what.
Yeah. It's over. I don't even know why they're still in the graphics as long as Pittsburgh's in your division. If you have 9 losses, it's hopeless. But yeah, great game. The snow just added to it. Yeah, very high scoring snow game. Don't see those very often. Yeah, I mean, Joe Burrow threw a beautiful touchdown, I think, to Gesicki to stretch the lead to 10. And I think then the Bengals were able to get Josh Allen to a third down. I think it was a third down, and then they just gave up the most wide-open 40-yard touchdown run I've ever seen in my life. The easiest quarterback 40-yard touchdown run I've ever seen. And then, yeah, everything just went downhill for the Bengals from there, although they did have a nice drive to cut it to 5 and cover my prediction. But
bullshit.
But yeah, but yeah, I mean, once again, I mean, yes, Burrow's interceptions were bad, but for some reason, Burrow peaks. I know he was hurt all year, but he peaks in December, and once again, it's not going to matter.
Yeah,
it's just unfortunate.
It hurts. Yeah. 9 losses. It feels like an uphill battle. We get the Ravens this week, but yeah, the worst part of that game was that if my Bengals were going to lose, at least don't cover the spread. So I win that bet by half a freaking point. But good on you.
I'll take that because there were some horrible beats this week. So I'll take that.
Yep. All right, our stat that told the story. We're gonna go very recent. Last night's Monday Night Football game, where the Eagles and Chargers took the field in LA, and Jalen Hurts, QB for the Philadelphia Eagles, had 5 turnovers, 4 interceptions, and a fumble. 2 of those came on one play, and the game featured 8 total turnovers altogether, where it really did tell the story. Turnovers decided the game. It was a sloppy, messy game, and when you're the Eagles, you're lucky this game even went to overtime with all the turnovers that took place. And then, obviously, this one went to overtime. Dicker for the Chargers with 5 field goals, including that 46-yarder to force OT and a 54-yarder in OT. But he only got those chances because of turnovers.
Yeah, there's 2 ways you can look at this for the Eagles. Yeah, one was, like you said, lucky it even went to overtime because of all the turnovers. But then you could also think, why did that go into overtime? Because we had we had the ball, and Jalen Hurts admittedly threw a beautiful pass. Like, he played really bad, but he threw an absolutely beautiful pass to A.J. Brown in the end zone. That would have given them a touchdown lead with 2 minutes to go, and A.J. Brown dropped it. and then they had to settle for a field goal, and then the Chargers obviously scored a field goal in the next drive and went into overtime. Yeah, very weird game because you never see that many fumbles in a game indoors.
Right.
I think not just like turnovers, but like just fumbles that were even recovered by the offense. But I mean, Justin Herbert's hand and limitations with
It
his
definitely
injury, I
played a
think
factor.
that played a factor in some of his. I think Jalen Hurts, he just threw some inexcusable passes, especially that interception in overtime. I don't know what. I don't know. It was first. It wasn't even like it was fourth down. It was first down.
And
Like
they'd gotten all the way to the red zone, field goal range to tie the game.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even. I mean, there was a little bit of a window, but you don't even risk. Like it's just you don't risk it in that situation. Oh, that was bad.
It's games like this that people refer to when they don't put Jalen Hurts in their top 5 QBs in the league. And
Yes,
I know we both did, but it's games like this that people refer to. And yeah, the score for this game, if you just flip flop this one with the Bengals Bills, that would have made more sense with the snow game and the indoor in LA. Didn't make a whole lot of sense there. But let's look at our final part of this: the team or player on the rise this week. We're finally going to give some love to a team that has deserved it for the last few weeks, and that's the Houston Texans after winning their 5th straight game in a row after taking down last year's AFC champion, the Kansas City Chiefs, in Arrowhead Stadium, which is no small feat, no matter what Chiefs team you're playing up against. And this is a big win for the Houston Texans as they look to climb back up into the AFC South rankings as they try to chase down Jacksonville, and just kind of getting a bit of a monkey off their back with Kansas City. They'd lost multiple games in a row going back to last season's playoff game against KC. So this was huge, and I think CJ Stroud played probably the best game for him this season. Kind of mirrored some of those things we saw in his rookie year. But he made some really tough throws when he had guys like Chris Jones tracking him down in the pocket. But I was impressed by him. But of course, it's always the defense with Houston, and they were the stars of this game.
Yeah, I believe this was Kansas City's first loss by multiple possessions, and it happened at home to a team that they've owned for the last several years. So yeah, basically for the Houston Texans to be contenders, CJ Stroud and the offense just need to be average because that's just how insanely good their defense has been. And I think as we saw Sunday night, they can be that because I mean the Chiefs defense. You really couldn't blame the Chiefs defense for that loss, but the Texans did make enough plays against that defense to be average and to get to 20 points. But yeah, they just took Mahomes and company just completely out of rhythm. Drops, interceptions. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, I've been hampering on the Texans defense. I've been up on it all year. I mean, even when they were losing, I was like, it's really unfortunate this team's going to waste such a talented defense. But I'm glad to see him. It started with Davis Mills. Never forget that.
Yeah.
If the Texans do make it far, never forget that it was Davis Mills who actually got the ball rolling on this offense. So, yeah, shout out Houston. It's a team that no one's going to want to face in the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, that is our NFL spotlight.